blackout streamers is going to kill the movement. No. It's just like DC. The collapse is inevitable. Unless something changes dramatically. Sorry guys, the signal out here spotting. I kept having to jump off. So, I guess we're going to DC at some point. That is not, I believe that's actually separate from with this convoy, whatever, I don't know how long I can talk, but he's liable to overheat in the sun very quickly. I might not have much time, so we'll jump straight to the point, I suppose, and then try and read some comments. I've never seen protest as a useful tool. It's just not really. It can spread awareness of something, and it can get people unified, which I did see a lot with the convoy. But I've been critical of the convoy, and mostly because going into DC, what do you do when you're there? You're going to go fight Antifa, get arrested? Now, some of them are talking about getting arrested for publicity, which makes sense. So, if you're doing it to create publicity, for sure, that can be beneficial. But beyond that, no politician is going to change whether they're going to sign a bill or not based on anyone being in DC. Anything that happens in DC, like some people say, it's one of the sovereignties, right? It's one of the 3 crowns or whatever, where it's a foreign land, and it is. But the reality is that the people are the government. And when we don't govern our lives, DC gets to rule crazily. But when the government fails to serve the Most High, it collapses inevitably. It's just the way it is. And if the government isn't serving the Most High, it has no authority. And they're not serving the Most High. They're serving the lower forces. And that's very clear. There isn't any point, unless you know what you're doing. Some people have a private mission where they want to go get arrested because they got to share a message, for sure. And that might build unity and publicity for the movement, for sure. But there's no reason to put yourself in a situation where you're fighting in the street, or fighting Antifa, or whatever. Like, there's no reason to be there. Seriously, what are you going to accomplish? No politician's going to change their bills because of you get stabbed in the stomach by Antifa. It doesn't matter. In fact, they'll laugh at you and sign the bill anyways. By going into DC and protesting, you're essentially telling the government, you have authority over me. Stop doing what you're doing to me. The government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed. That is true every minute of every day. You have to consent. And when you consent, whether it's through ignorance or consciously, through sin or through direct understanding of what you're doing, and you want food stamps from the government, and you'll do this, that, and the third to get food stamps, right? Or whatever it is. You want the water from the city or whatever. You're consenting to the terms and conditions when you do it. It doesn't make them right. But that's not really exactly the point. The point is, when you go into DC, you are telling them, you have power. You have power over me. That's what you're saying. The power is here. You have the power. DC, give me my rights back, Master. Master, give me my rights back. They can't take them from you. Only God can take them from you. I was listening to a stream earlier. And it's somewhere in the Bible, I never heard this passage, it was talking about how we're born under the law. And when we're born again, we are no longer subject to that law, we are subject to God's law. We have been born under the law into the beast system, and we have to overcome. And you don't do that by going into DC. The battle is within. Now, some people have overcome that battle and they're going into DC to help spread the message to other people because that's what God's calling them to do, for sure. But without that being the central focus, I don't know. Maybe the thing is, it is not my calling to go into there, and I don't understand why their calling is to. I don't know. I'm just making sure that people know if you're going into DC without serving the Most High, you're not going to do anything but get yourself in trouble. And even then, you're probably still going to get in trouble, but God will get you out of it, right? If it's the right thing. I don't know. I just don't want to see people going in there and getting hurt. Changes, because it's not going to change. If we went into DC, full force and fought a battle to end the Emergency Powers Act, everyone at home doing nothing is still a bunch of bitches that ain't gonna do shit the next time something comes around, until they learn how to serve the Most High, until they're born again. It's Satan's system, and you can correct Satan's system because there's no authority or power in the system itself. It comes from you, your soul, your spirit, your attention. The attention you give DC is what gives it authority. I guess it was initially given authority by God, right? But from there it became like a spirit, a beast of its own. And it wants to live, and it needs to live, and it feeds on your energy. It cannot live on its own. So it has to serve what you want. And when you don't want what God wants for you, what the Most High calls you to do, the system doesn't give you that. It gives you sin. It gives you debauchery. It gives you abortions. And you can't go around blaming fucking Antifa or the Boogaloo Boys or whatever. It's the people. All of us are to blame for this system. Every one of us. You can't go blaming a politician. Like, sure, they're doing this and that. And sure, maybe at certain times you got to call them out and say, hey, they're doing this. This is crazy. But if you're just sitting there focused on what they're doing all the time, you are consenting to their authority. And there is no need to fight it. There's no need to fight. There's nothing to fight. When the system doesn't serve God, it serves death. And as a result, the system will die. And a lot of people are going to die with it, from starvation, from just not water, whatever, not being able to just get to a hospital. The system is collapsing, guys. There's nothing to fix. It's fucked. It's done. And maybe that means that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because now a new system's going to rise in its place. And if we don't correct ourselves and live right in ourselves, and by God, the Most High, the new system that forms will be even worse. Or it could be better. And the new system may have the same name, but this system's done. Y'all, it's done. It serves death and wickedness, and it can't survive because of that. But like I was saying earlier, it relies on your soul's energy. That divine spark in you needs to feed the beast for it to live. Now, the beast does good things. It's what's providing all the food. It's how we get gasoline. It does useful things. But when you serve the beast and the beast doesn't serve you, you're in the wrong position. You need to reevaluate. It's like a dog. A dog can do great things for you, but you don't go serving it and saying it has authority over you because it can bite you in the face and tear your throat off. Oh my God, please, dog, don't. Just like begging the dog not to bite your face off. Don't go begging the government for shit. You are the government. You give it authority. And back to the point, I keep hitting this because I keep missing the point a little. The government relies on your soul's energy to sustain itself. And when the people turn from sin, and they no longer serve sin, they no longer want sin in their lives, they are done watching pornography, they're done whatever, drinking too much, smoking too much, whatever it is, whatever your sin is, it serves the beast. Being angry and hateful towards your brothers and sisters, hating people you've never met, that's consent. That is consent. If you have hate in your heart for Nancy Pelosi, you consent to abortion. You consent to her authority to have abortions, to allow people to have abortions, whatever they want. If you hate that woman, you are consenting. To her authority. You have to observe, sit back and watch. I mean, there's a point to being angry, right? You can get angry, but if you're just hating Nancy Pelosi every time she comes on, you fucking talk about how much you hate her. And, fucking Nancy Pelosi, that woman fucking crushes. Unlike Donald Trump, who cheated on his wife, so don't even fucking tell me about, oh, they cheated in the election. Donald Trump cheated on his fucking wife. Okay? They didn't steal shit. Okay? It doesn't matter. If you're focused on this and you're angry about it, you're being controlled by the beast. Man, I'm on one right now, I'll tell you what. That's the whole Nancy Pelosi Tea Party. It's like, have fun, enjoy life. No, being angry at Nancy Pelosi's not going to stop her from being a demon bitch. She's going to be that. That's what she do. And because the people live in sin and have sex out of wedlock and make babies left and right, and fucking 16-year-old women, girls, don't know who to turn to because their fucking father and mother abandoned them 23 years ago when they're 16. That can't happen. But they're abandoned by their mothers and fathers. This is who you're talking about getting abortions. Women who grew up and they were molested and they don't understand sexual boundaries, and then they get taken advantage of by every fucking man they meet. Really? This is who you're yelling about. The problem isn't abortion. That's the cancer. When you look at treating the body for disease and illness, you look at the underlying cause. But what modern medicine does and what modern man does is treat the symptom, not the cause. The cause of abortions is sex out of wedlock, lack of commitment for young girls, no direction for women. They have no guidance. They don't know where to turn. So they turn to the government as their daddy. Because where else can they go? I mean, they've been doing that to the so-called black community for years, splitting up the family by making the women dependent on the government. So that the men can't even, like, they don't even know where to go, filling them with anger. Like, but again, you can't, like, it comes down to us. If you go getting angry at the welfare system and all that, you're serving it. So I changed its position. And you can even see where I'm at on the map. How cool is that? Oh. Would you look at that? But I don't know. That's what I keep saying, and I didn't really know how to put it into words until today. It's like, and everyone's got their own calling. But I'm more focused on the fact that The only thing DC is good for is being a platform to get an audience from. That's it. That's all it's good for. Beyond that, it's like it's a soap opera stage. That's all it is. Literally all it is. And when that system stops serving God, because the people stop serving God, the Most High, when that happens, the system collapses. I'm sorry, I can't really read the comments. I'll try. Well, now that I got the phone in this position, I might be able to turn up the brightness and charge it, because oh, yeah, hold on. That's a fact. I'm not the one to convey that information, but but they're looking at what they're gonna do moving forward. What's the next thing, right? Do you do it every year? Some people are talking about monthly. I think monthly's too much. But yeah, no, I mean, it's, guys, the reality is, don't be doing something stupid thinking you're going to save the convoy and get them some money to keep it going. It seems to be done for now. That's just this one. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't get reorganized and started again, right? Convoy should be used as an example of how much division there is in the country. Yeah. Well, but like I said thousands of times, the one thing that I liked about the convoy from the beginning is that it unified the country. It was unifying. It created unity along the way. It gave people they didn't know they could speak up a chance to speak up. So as critical as I am, it did do that. Okay, I'll give the convoy that. And I met a lot of amazing people and connected to networking. That's where the power is in the convoy. It's not in what it can do. It's a publicity stunt. That's all you can do to reach people and awaken them and teach them about the Most High and about their rights and where they come from. But like, freedom divorced from God is slavery. Like, there is no such thing. To have freedom, you need to serve the Most High. So really what you're talking about when you're saying freedom is what? What is freedom? What's freedom be? But where are the people now at Hagerstown? The best case scenario I can see is that the convoy are running a military psyop. I can't buy into what I'm seeing or getting from them. Says Foxfire. Well, they're definitely running sources. They are running military psyop type things, and there are some very smart people in there that know how to do stuff like that. I was amazed, like hearing how certain people deal with trolls and stuff. Like some of the streamers there got like military training. I was like, oh, that's funny, dude. What the hell are you doing to see? Listen, I'm just throwing off whoever wants to. I know what I'm doing. I ain't gotta explain myself. Oh. X-ray on the DC tour now. Live stream. Yeah, they're slowly rolling out what's really gonna happen. It's not my place to say. It's not to be my place to mention these things. But yeah, so the whole, yeah, I don't want to mess up what they're doing. Whatever they do, I want it to be, that's the thing, is as critical as I am of the convoy, I want to see it be fruitful. I want the right thing to happen. I feel that way about any event. Anything that I'm seeing, I want to see the right thing happen. I don't want to see people getting hurt, wasting their time. You know, I want to see people be more productive. Even at a BLM protest, I want to see the right thing happen. I want to see people learn from what they're doing And ultimately, there'd be less division. That'd be nice. Not many good people are. They will. Well, who knows? I don't know. What's up, Karen? Yeah. I mean, I see what I'm saying. Like, the government relies on. It feeds off of our energy. It literally eats your soul. But your soul is eternal, so it doesn't really matter. But it needs that fire. And when you go giving it, we all are born under the law because we don't know how to control our inner fire. And we go sending it everywhere. So the government is there to be like a holding spot, so we don't, that we don't realize our full potential without, checking us first. Because we can do amazing things as people, but God gave us a lot of powers that just nobody talks about it. Like, you can do anything. Of these things I do, you will do greater. Like, that's not a joke. Like, there are people out there, but they don't show themselves. You don't see them. They can do amazing things. Things that science couldn't prove. Or disprove. They tried. What up, y'all? Hagerstown shower incident. What's that? I'm the antenna man, the CD. Nice. How's it going? What's good? I don't know. I'm just yelling about how the government operates, in my opinion. How I see things. Because everyone sees things differently. Like, people used to explain things through spiritual possession and all this. Because we are vessels for spirits. You read the Bible, the Raha Kodesh, the Holy Spirit. There's also dirty Rakuth, dirty spirits. He was full of dirty spirits. That means that people are full of good spirits too. There are good and bad spirits. And you could almost define the spirit as just an idea or a thought being shared and exchanged, but they transcend the physical, though. They really do. But so does information. We can't produce anything that doesn't already exist in some form. Like, people are like, oh, you think that people can communicate with their minds? I have a fucking phone floating in the middle of my car. It is sending out a video to 70 other phones right now. That isn't us. We have that system. The birds know it. But we've divorced ourselves from nature. We've divorced ourselves from the Creator. We've forgotten that. We've given up our power. Because we're born under the law. And that doesn't mean God's law. It means the government. We're born under the government's law. And until we can rise back up into our God-given rights and powers, because we have to do so rightly so that we don't go transgressing on our brothers and sisters, taking advantage of them with the power we have, because that's what witchcraft is. Witchcraft can be good or bad. There's a debate there, but people use witchcraft to take advantage of people, to prey on people, because they know spirits and they know the possession of ideas. The Bible talks about spirits everywhere, but nobody talks about spirits anymore. Except for the Holy Spirit. But there was dirty spirits, there's the spirit over Hagerstown. It sits there. I don't know if it emanates from DC or what. It sits there and it causes division. It is wild. Every time Hagerstown is the same demonic presence. It's not the Speedway. I think it's just DC, and I think it's the focus of the people on DC. There's a wicked spirit there. And it creates division. I don't know where it comes from, but it's there. You know how many arguments happened yesterday? I never, everything was peaceful. I've been with the convoy for most of the time, like nearly 3 months, off and on a couple times. So I see shifts. There's a demonic presence there. It's like, but that just means against man, right? It's a spirit that serves Satan. That's what demon means. And what is a spirit? It's just a thought. It's an idea. And they build strength over time. Some spirits are huge. Some are just, we create spirits. Our soul creates spirits. Now there's the American spirit. DC is like a spirit. It's the beast. And we're born in servitude to that spirit, to that beast. And there's millions of them though. There's millions of them. I don't even know if there's a difference between a thought and a spirit. They might be the same thing. Thoughts, like, they don't know how like thoughts transfer. They don't know how we have so much information. Probably because it's just in the ether, and it's all spirits. And they can't do anything physically other than they speak to our antennas, to our minds. Oh, you're crazy, man! What the fuck are you talking about? Spirits talking to you? What are you holding in your hand? What are you staring at right now? What are you listening to? Really think about that. It's the lesser form of what is inside of you. A cell phone we have cell phones in us, but we have something better. Like our cell phone system is way better, far superior to a cell phone. Because it's not even a cell phone. Well, I guess it is. We have a cellular system in our bodies. And it communicates in ways that we can't even understand. It picks up things. We've been so divorced from nature. People can't see this shit. And they serve the beast because of it. Because they can't see. And it is something you can't see. Oh, you mean there's stuff that you can't see that impacts your life? Well, try the air you breathe, bud. You breathing right now? I think you're breathing. Where the fuck is that coming from? You can say it's oxygen and it's carbon and above it. Where is it coming from? Oh, it's coming from the trees. Is it? I mean, it probably is, but what does that mean? It still doesn't mean that you aren't just breathing out of the air. And what is water? Water is air. It's just 2 molecules of air. Or 3 or like 2, whatever. H2O. It's hydrogen and oxygen. 2 gases coming together. Something else you need to survive. Something that everything on this planet needs to survive. We live off of what we can't see. If you take what you can't see away from us right now, we would die. We would die. Yeah, I don't know how to put this into better words right now. But what's up, y'all? I'm on one today, I'll tell you what. This guy needs to lay off the weed. I don't really smoke weed. We each have our own spirit and soul, right? Yeah, and the system relies on, the system is a spirit, but it's not a soul. The soul is like a sun, it creates its own energy. The spirit doesn't create its own energy, it relies on vessels. It needs souls, people who are in touch. It doesn't matter, just every one of us was given that divine spark. Spirits rely on that to carry on. The same thing is true for Washington, D.C. It is a spirit. It relies on people, the attention they give it, the energy they put into it to function. And in that regard, the government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed. It's the same it means the same thing. It's just looked at differently. It's just different information conveyed differently. It is people buying into negative emotions versus positive emotions, separate facts from feelings, think critically, problem solve effectively, hard for most to do. Absolutely. 1000%. Yeah, they create the left and the right divide, and it becomes a battery that charges the beast. Absolutely. Just found you. How's it going, David? Mainstream media is the evil conduit. I have to think on what the mainstream media is in that system. Yeah. But you can, I don't know, I feel like at that point, the problem is that people, we're so enveloped in sin that we can't get in touch with our own powers because God won't let us have them. Look at this cute little house in the middle of nowhere. Just hidden. That is such a beautiful little building. Wow. But God doesn't let us have our rights until we're ready to use them properly. Because we can use them and take advantage of others, take advantage of the youth. So we're only given a certain amount. That's why we're born under the law. Because if we were born with everything and we didn't know how to control ourselves, we would take advantage of others. Because we wouldn't know the difference between right and wrong. Sorry guys, I can't get to all the comments. People have to stop feeding the beast. Yeah, and we do it every day. And we've all done it unconsciously because, again, I keep harping this point. We were born under the law. That's what the Bible tells us. And through the Messiah, we are saved. We are reborn. We are born again. And we are no longer subject to that. At that moment, you are God's child. You are sovereign. You are under His law, not man's law. That's satsang. I don't know exactly what is satsang. I watch Mojis all the time, but I don't know what satsang really means. And so, like, if you're putting, and again, going back to the point where some people want to go into DC and get arrested to create publicity for what's going on. If that is your intention and that's what God calls you to do, that's awesome, and you can deal with that, you know that you can handle that, then go for it. I'm just talking to the youth out there who want to go into DC and think that they're going to do something by fighting Antifa, getting stabbed, or punched in the face. You're not doing anything but feeding the beast. You are blood sacrifice for the beast. Negative energy is bad, but no, it's necessary for life. You have to be balanced. You have to be balanced. It doesn't mean you can do wickedness, right? You have to obey the laws of God. God doesn't say to be positive. He doesn't say to be negative. The positive-negative polarity is what gives the power to the system. It's the same thing. You can create systems yourself with positive and negative energy. I try to use negative energy. The name of this video is somewhat negative energy. It depends on it. You have to use it right. It's not about you just be right. Because you need positive, like, look at your car. Your car battery won't start if you just hook up the positive side. It needs to be grounded. Because if you get positive, you get too into your thoughts, into the higher forms, and then you don't ground to the earth. The earth is the negative component. The earth is like the polarity of God in some respects. God made the earth, but like it's that negative energy where you need to ground yourself to make things happen. Can't have one without the other. Yep. And if you have a system that's divorced of, it's only one of the, you can't have one that's one or the other. And people, that's another one, guys. That's how these gurus take advantage of all y'all out there. These positive, be positive. Yes, positivity is the way of the future. You will be blessed, and nothing bad will ever happen to you. That's not fucking real. That's not real, and that's why people fall in the cults. They think that they think they're gonna get, just live this positive life all the time, whatever. Like, you can't. It's not possible. And people get taken advantage of pursuing that because they're blinded to the negative. And the negative is where a lot of the dark stuff comes from when it's used wrong. And by not believing in negativity or paying attention to it, that's how these cults take over. I can't quite put that one into words yet. I'll get there. I'll get there one day. Satsang is spiritual discourse or a sacred gathering. Nice, yeah. I feel like they're usually more peaceful than this. I watch emojis all the time. Well, I used to, at least. I don't believe in duality because of absolute. Well, right. But the duality exists, though. It is and it isn't. It depends on where you're looking. Are you looking at the whole symbol of the yin-yang, or are you just looking at the left or the right? Or are you looking at the left and the right coming together to make the symbol? It's like... You good, Timber? Hold it down. Oh, you need both sides. In one way of looking, neither side exists. There's a point to that. It is all one, right? But that's the Bible is the Bible is that fight. Satan versus God. But God, we're saying Satan versus God. God made Satan, gave him authority to rule the earth. And at any time, he can take that away. Read the living word. Is that the Bible or is that a book? A different book. Much like what you're doing right now, Namaste. Thanks, Carmen. Man, I got so lost. Not just in life, but convoying to DC? No. I'm going home. I gotta regather. And then maybe I need to settle down and make some money because I am broke. And I have bills coming up. I've been on the road for a month straight at least. I don't know when we left Charlotte. I don't know. Whenever that was. I haven't sat down. I've been working a little, but I can't work. So I'm going home to work. If you guys want to throw some cash in the app, that'd be great. If you want to help out with some gas money. But no, I'm going home to work. Then I'm gonna go. If they're still there in a week and a half, I'll be back. But I don't know. I don't know right now whether they'll be there or not. Then I'm going to New York. I'm going to upstate. I'm gonna go camping. And I'm gonna kick up some of my old landscaping work and live up there for a bit camping. That's where prayers come from, and if everyone will pray, God gains more strength in fighting the devil. I guess in this, because God doesn't necessarily gain strength from it, but maybe in that situation, right? You bring God into the situation because He's not going to come until He's invited, right? There's something to it. As above, so below. There can only be one. Are you quoting the movie? Because everything is one. But if everything was one, then we would be God. We would be the Most High. If everything was one. But there is division. I, the Lord, create both good and evil. Isaiah 45:7. There you go. Exactly. Upstate near Buffalo, I'm going up towards the Catskills. I have never been that far north. I was gonna go to Buffalo one day. I was like, oh, I'd like to go up to Buffalo. Let's just go to Buffalo instead of going to the Catskills. And then I realized how freaking far away it was. Like, never mind. Never mind. But yeah, I think I made my point. I have made my point. Oh. But I don't know if the stream crashed or something, but I made my point. I think it crashed, huh? It's weird. Yup, she's going down. Let's see. Alright. It looks like the stream went down for some reason, so I restarted the phone. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, great camping near Watkins Glen. Where is that? I've heard of it. I feel like I've been there. From Canada? Nice. Yeah, Canada's probably... I could not live in Canada in the winter. I can't even conceive how people can do it. Watkins Glen. It sounds very familiar, but I don't know. But I'm probably going to hop off here in a minute. The phone's getting hot. I'm getting hot. I got to roll the windows down. You probably won't be able to hear me anyways. And I've made my point. I've made my point. I believe. I believe in a thing called love. What is that song? That guy gets so high pitched. That's an old song, isn't it? Alright, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to throw your boy some donations to help him get back on his feet, paypal.me/healinglaw. I appreciate anything. There's also the Cashapp in the description, all that. Otherwise, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out either way. But maybe in a week and a half, if the convoy's still going on. I think Steve is going to be in DC pretty much for a long time. He seems to be. It's all about the money. Nah, I'm just saying. I'm just, like I said, dude, I got a car payment coming up. That's all I'll worry about. But, have a good one, country.